Three, two, one.
Let me put you on game to a different way of thinking. Black King, empower the youth to live the truth, got big dreams. Black King, all of my brothers that are for each other, that's how we know we. Black King, bringing more unity to community, yeah. Black King.
Kings, queens, my royal family. My name is Walter Watts, and like always, I got my kings with me. Jojo, talk to me.
You're
Mo, where you at?
What's good, family?
Oh man, we doing good. And if you don't know, now you know. Welcome to King's Hour. Now we starting this one off pretty good with a great conversation that Jojo started us off with. He asked us off air, "Hey, what was one thing that changed you in your life that put you on a different path that you are on now?" And it was a great conversation because it's something that we all had to kind of stop and think about. We've all had great success and accomplished so many different goals, but if we take a step back, where was it that made that pivot to make the change to put you on the path that you are on now? And I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. I know I got mine. So Jojo, let's start with you, my man. What was something that changed you?
all right. So let me set the picture for you. So early in my college career, I went through a lot, went from school to school, but when I finally sat down and got to a school and got back on the field, I was pretty successful. First team all conference, second team all American, all the accolades, all these different things. And with all that came, recognition from NFL scouts, NFL teams. Come my junior year, I've already worked out for a couple teams before my senior year. I was getting Christmas cards, like the emails from NFL teams. People are telling me I'm projected this round, that round, and all these different things are going on. I had a great junior year. I was just killing it. Come my senior year, I'm prepping, obviously for the NFL, in the off season, and I get invited to a few All-Star games and this and that, and I go to my first All-Star game out in Virginia. So I go out there, I test well. I think I ran like a 4.5. I jumped the 10.8 broad jump. I just killed it. At a tight end, I was 265 pound tight end. So that's something that people don't see, but that's what I was known for. I was known for my athleticism. So I did, I was killing it one-on-ones. I did all these things. This is pre-game. So we're practicing, we're testing, we're doing all these different things. Come to the end of practice, we're doing a walkthrough. We're doing a walkthrough for practice, throwing your sneakers. We're going to jog, not even run, just jog some routes. I put on my shoes, some Air Maxes, navy blue, all blue, white checks.
Oh, you remember.
Run a slant. Bro, I'm telling y'all, man.
Fresh running that slant, though.
Man, yeah. Jogging a slant, not even running a slant, jogging a slant. And I go to just kind of sit down over the linebacker, like over the top of the center, and I roll my ankle, right? And I'm jogging. I done been hit, smacked y'all know how football is, man. You get destroyed, right? I done been hit every type of way, but I'm jogging. I roll my ankle. I'm like, what was that? I finished practice thinking it's nothing, but I can feel my foot swelling up in my shoe. And I'm like, yo, what is that? So I go see the doctor, like, hey, like, what's going on, man? Like, my foot, I rolled it, but something's not right. She's like, it's broken. You broke your ankle. Initially, that's what she thought. You broke your ankle. We went to the doctor, got an X-ray. She's like, you got a slight break in your foot and ankle. I'm like, how the hell does that happen? Yeah. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, what's the healing time? Because this is about November, December, and obviously like combine and all those different things or in the spring. So I'm like, oh, what's the healing time? And she's like 4 weeks. I'm like, okay, oh, that's fine. So all the scouts like, oh yeah, it's whatever, because that right after the workout, I'm scouts left and right. Here, take this, take my number here. I'm gonna call your agent. Like it was crazy, something I've never really experienced, man. So I was on cloud nine. So they're thinking 4 weeks. I'll be back on time, back in time for everything. No big deal. I get back to Oklahoma where I was playing in college, and I go see our doctor. And come to find out, I had a fracture called a Jones fracture, and a Jones fracture it's on the very outside of your foot, and the spot where it's broken is it's the least blood circulation you get in your entire body. Right.
What?
Same injury that Yao Ming had. I want to say another hooper had it, but I went from 4 weeks being out to 13, 14 months minimum.
Oh God.
And surgery.
Yeah.
And surgery, right?
And this is just to clarify, this is senior year, you said,
This is after my senior year. So this is prepping for the draft, prepping for everything. This is the beginning of that process, right? This is the very beginning of preparing for the NFL. This is fresh out the gate, right? So they're like 14 months minimum, and you need to get surgery ASAP if you want to have a shot at this, right? So instantly my agent's like, that's a red flag. That's death penalty. You know, that's, I don't know what we're going to do. And I was devastated. And if you knew me before this, I was always surrounded by people. I always had, my apartment was always full. I had this big old TV. My spot was like the kicking spot, man. All my dudes would come through. It was a vibe all the time. We're having functions. We doing it, we ain't doing anything crazy, but that was like, I always surrounded myself with people. I was never by myself. And for the first time in my life, I was by myself. You know what I'm saying? By choice and by, I don't like, scouts stop calling, teams stop calling. People stopped calling. But in hindsight, it really wasn't like people stopped. The people that cared about me were still checking on me. I don't want to act like there was people weren't looking out for me, but the people I felt were important at the time weren't checking on me. You know what I'm saying? I was depressed. I was down. There was like a month I didn't shower. I was down bad. I was down bad. I got surgery. I was just devastated, man. Like, I went from being projected this round to hoping I could ever play again. You know what I'm saying? So in that process, like, I was forced to be alone in my thoughts by myself, to deal with that. And looking back, especially now, but even then, look, like, at that time, I realized, like, this is the best thing that could have ever happened to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know how to deal with that type of adversity. You know what I'm saying? Even in the process, I'm like, I remember my dad telling me, like, one day at a time, man, one day at a time, one day at a time. And I'm like, man, what does that mean? Like, one day at a time? Like, bro, I can't even walk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so I had to be in a boot. I was in a boot for 5 of those 14 months, man. Like, I had to be in a boot. It was bad, screwing my foot, everything. So this is about December. I got surgery. January, February, March, I moved back home. I completely leave school. I'm like, this ain't gonna work. I can't be in Oklahoma. I got to be around my family. Like, I'm not doing well. I get with a trainer out there. My agent's like, we're gonna make something happen. I end up having the director of college scouting call me, John Dorsey, and he was like, hey, man, we're trying to do a pro day back home in Weber. If you can get back to Utah, we'll do one at Weber. You come out, we'll just see what you can do. I'm like, all right, man, but I'm no percent, not even 5%. I'm no percent. I can't do anything. So I get, fast forward to the pro day. Obviously, I can't run. I haven't been running. All I've been doing is benching and benching. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Just cop diesel.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it, bro. Just on the bench. So I get to the pro day. I only planned on doing bench, and then my agent was like, if you want to do a vert and a broad just to show him something, try it. And I'm a knucklehead, man. Y'all know me. But I'm like, what else can go wrong? Like, I'm just gonna do it.
Oh shit.
I didn't run. Like, I knew running would be bad, but I knew if I jumped, if I landed on one foot, I'd be cool.
Yeah.
If I kind of pushed off one foot, I'd be cool.
Yeah.
So I did, man. I went out there, I benched like 27. At
225.
Yeah. Okay, and then my vert was 36.
36.
Foot. And then I broad jumped to 10 foot even with my broken foot.
God.
And then just like that, they kind of were back on. With the help of that college, the director of scouting, man, he helped me out a lot. He was like, Joe, just stand there. We're gonna throw the ball to you. I'm gonna walk in a circle. I kind of took the shine from the pro day. He kind of gave me all the attention. He's the director of college scouting, so whatever all the other scouts is like, if he's paying attention, we're gonna pay attention.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he just was showing me so much love, and I was hobbling around doing what I could. I didn't run routes, but through that whole process, just like that year right there, me being by myself, me having to kind of figure this thing out, it taught me a lot about myself, and it showed me that. And I don't know, like we'll post it on the IG, but Mook had that slide where he's talking about you got to spend time alone, man. Like you have to spend time alone if you want to be able to kind of function and be around other people and do the things you need to do for yourself. And that was me. I needed that. And since then, I'm never really surrounded myself with people. I've always had to sit back and collect my thoughts, and I was okay being alone, and I was able to make better decisions. I'm able to function better. I'm able to be self-reliant. I'm able to just there's a lot of things I couldn't do prior 2010 that I can after, just because of that whole situation. And like I said, I end up making teams, and I end up going from team to team, and obviously things would have been a lot better if I didn't break my foot. I missed 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I signed with Green Bay, but I didn't stay after rookie minicamp. Lockout came. I missed another year. Things changed, but I wasn't as devastated, man. The fact that I came out of that and still was successful for me, you know what I'm saying? It changed a lot for me. And it just put me on this path of like, I didn't need that, you know. I didn't have to have that because when you're by yourself, you can think, man. You can think. I didn't really need, like, was I playing ball because I loved it, or was I playing ball because I could, or was I playing ball because everybody's like, you're good, go out there and be somebody. And I got to realize why I was even doing it, you know.
Which was what?
Because everybody, that's what I was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's easy to say that now because everybody's like, oh, well, what if, I bet you if you was healthy, you wouldn't say that. And I'm like, in reality, who knows? Because I would have probably been in the same type of environment surrounded by yes men telling me what I was supposed to do and what I wasn't supposed to do.
And sometimes if you get that injury later on when you're in the league,
right,
that's even more detrimental because you've been in that type of mind state for longer.
Too long.
Yeah.
And you gotta I'm conditioned now. At that point, like go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'll say at that point I was forced to like sit down and be with myself, man. Like I was forced to sit down and be patient and like, bro, like dog, I ain't never had patience.
Right. But but my thing is like, if I'm listening to this, how do you then all of a sudden have patience? Because you could just be like, fuck it, I can't, this ain't me. I can't do it.
I think because I came so far, man, like I think because let's take even further. I graduated high school in 2004. I didn't touch a football field again until 2007.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
What was the deal?
Wow. So I went to Utah State. Things didn't work out. You know, I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. I left after a year, academic probation. I got kicked out because I wasn't going to class, wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. Went to Weber, same thing. Didn't get my grades back up for a year. Transferred to Snow, got my stuff together, and that was like 2007. That was the first time I touched the field again since I graduated high school.
Damn.
So I'd already been through so much, you know what I'm saying, in my life, just as far as like trials and tribulations, right? And I always laugh. I was like, God was like, yo, that wasn't enough because clearly you ain't learning.
Yeah.
Like clearly you ain't learning, right? Like I'm teaching you these lessons and clearly you're not hearing me.
Right.
You know, it keeps getting taken away from me. And then, you know, I had my daughter, you know, in that process when I first started playing again. I moved to a different state. Like so many different things were happening to me. So when I got to that point, like, and I broke my foot, I'm like, nah, bro. Like I put in too much. I put in too much. Like I put in way too much sweat equity. And at that point, so many people were like pushing me, man. Like my mom, my dad, you know, so many people were like, bro, like we've put so much into you as far as like just that support and just being there. It's not like they're saying that like, yo, you got to do it for us, but this is me putting it on myself.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you've been through so much, like you got to make it, bro. Like your mom had to beg your dad to drive you to Snow.
Yeah.
Butch was like, nah. Butch was like, you played yourself. You got kicked out of 2 schools. You couldn't get your grades up at 2 schools, and you were like you were a great student in high school, and you just completely just haven't, you know. He ain't been doing nothing, you know. So my dad
Mm.
was like, nah. My mom had to beg him, like, Bush, please just give this boy a chance. He'll figure it out. And I did, man. And I owed that. My dad was like the biggest one. I'm like, man, I want to do this for my pops. Not to
Yeah.
prove him wrong, but I was just like, man, like
That was your motivation to keep
that
going.
was my motivation. Like, not like the entire time it was like my dad. My dad was like my motivation. Like, I want to do this for him. Because I owed it to him because he sacrificed a lot, man. Like, so fast forward to that, when I break my foot, I'm like, nah, man, I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, and had I quit, then that's 3 teams. I signed 2 more contracts after that, you know,
Yeah.
3 contracts after that.
Right.
All on a broken foot, red flag, all that.
Damn.
I signed 3 whole contracts. I signed a contract at like 26 with no playing time.
Damn.
So let me ask you this real quick. Let me jump in. When you reflect, right? Because we've been sitting on this for like a week, just thinking about, you know, what it was for us. When you were in your reflection stage, were you able to see, once you identified what it was, what that event was, were you able to see throughout your life, you know, how that one thing, like how being by yourself made a pivot in other situations throughout time?
For sure. Because like I said, any situation, I'm able to sit there in my thoughts and deal with it and really think through it. Really think through it. Because like picture this, you're in a boot for 5 months. Like, you can't really move like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to get out of bed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you're not going to functions, and you're not pulling up on nobody. I can't drive. You know what I'm saying? So I was really like, it was me, my trainer, Emmett, that's like my brother, and my parents, and my, you know, obviously my brothers, my real brothers, but it was like I wasn't around people.
Yeah.
I was reading. I was tapped in. You know, I was just like figuring out who JoJo was, man, because at that time I didn't know. I was going from place to place. I've been to 4 colleges. You know what I'm saying? I've been everywhere.
So even question then, because you say that you're reading, and we all know that you keep books on hand.
Mm-hmm.
Is that when you started reading books? Like, was that the start of
That
it?
was
Or
like so 2 things. That was a start, and I end up working with this agency when they first started, and a part of the agency was like, you have to even get, like, to even work with them. One of the first homework assignments was they gave us like homework, like you need
they give you 2 books.
Yeah, I had to read those 2 books. I had to read Think and Grow Rich and How to Win Friends and Influence People. So that was in that process. That was like, I think I had just I was released from Green Bay. This is during the lockout. So I'm really at the crib again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went like this, and back now. You know, lockout. Like, I can't even be contacted. You know what I'm saying? Like, teams can't contact people. It was just a shitty situation. So that's when I started tapping in with the books. I read, but I didn't read like that in college. Definitely not in high school. Like, I was always articulate. I was always smart, but I did not read. Like, unless my mom was making me like book reports and stuff like that. So that opened up a whole part of my brain that I didn't even know existed. So that just that self-help, just finding self, man. Like, that was like, that put me on that road where I was like, bro, now you know who you are. Now we can figure out who you are.
Now you can go from here.
Now you can go from here. Yeah. So that was, and like I said, I wouldn't change it for the world, man, because I like Moose said, I'm too far in. If it wouldn't have happened, I would have been too far in to change.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Had that happened later in my career, and relationships I created, man. Like, I grew with people. Like, I met so many dope people in this process that are lifelong friends now. Or I tell my daughter, my oldest, I was like, I guarantee you, had I signed on a team and stayed, me and her relationship wouldn't be what it is today.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Everything, people say it all the time, everything happens for a reason, but it's until you sit back and really analyze some of the trials and tribulations that you've gone through, that you really be like, you know what? As bad as that was, and I didn't think I was going to be able to get out of it, or I had no hope. Like, you got out of it, and hopefully you got even better. So,
bro, like, just to put this in perspective, imagine not knowing what it feels like to jump. Like, imagine, like I used to sit there and I'm like, I don't even remember what it's like to jump.
But the sidebar, your whole life and your whole reputation has been built on how you can
Been
jump out
on
the
my
gym.
athleticism.
Yeah,
Been
like
on
how
my-
you could do
so
that.
like imagine that, bro. Like I don't
Yeah.
know how to run. Like I've been in a boot so long, I do not know how to run.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's wild.
You know, yeah. So yeah, but I'm gonna say what I learned from all that, man, patience, man, and sit in your thoughts like longer than a day, longer than a week. Like really try if you can. Obviously, if you got a family and all that stuff, man, it's gonna be tough. But try to be alone, man. Try to be alone. Try to be alone. It changed my life. Being by myself changed my life. Yeah, it changed my life.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you getting deep with us and letting us in. Mook, talk to me.
Man, so in full transparency, man, like I need y'all to give me a little bit of a break because I'm still kicking this around. This is something that's on my mind, and like hearing your story, it's very in line with where mine is, and that's why I kept laughing because I'm like, dang, it's so similar to my journey. For me, so first of all, it's crazy that we're talking about this because I was just talking to my little homie Cray the other day, and he was like, "Yo, I'm really tuned in y'all show, and I've been listening. I've been rocking with y'all. I really would want to hear, about what y'all did to get to the point where you're at, especially when things don't go to plan, and you have to recalibrate and get back on the path where you're supposed to go." So shout out to you, bro, because this is something that really helped me get my mind right for this conversation. So,
most definitely.
It's crazy because the question was, what was the event, or what was there a thing, or what was there a series of things? And for me, it all happened in a sequence. It was a thing that I had to make an event, and then it became a series of things that I did. And I'll break that down to you real quick. 2019, while we're talking about books, I read The Untethered Soul. Matter of fact, I think I put it on you, Walt. I told you about that. I think we read that together.
I appreciate that. You put me on.
Yeah. I'll never let you forget it. But real talk, man, that really opened up my mind to meditation, because that book what really left me with, what I left with that book from is the person in my head, the voice in my head, how to live with that, how to understand that, how to see where that person is coming from, where they're talking from. And I realized, much like you said, I got to spend time with myself. I got to spend time with myself. And the most practical way of doing that is meditation for me. So 2019, I was doing a little bit of meditation here and there, knowing that I had to do that. But 2020, where we all come into play, where we all decided, hey, we're going to talk as a group and do something, and just have a group where we just talk to each other about where we're at. If y'all remember, I made 3 goals. I made one about getting into a house. I made one about a number in my brokerage account. I made a goal about how many times I was going to meditate that year. And throughout that year, long story short, I'm not going to take you through that whole process, but I was able to do fairly well with the number of meditations that I did within that year. But as far as the house goes, it got really rocky in that process. That process, it was not smooth. However, I wouldn't have been able to make it to the house situation without getting a certain number in my brokerage account, which, don't want to toot my horn, but we made that happen pretty quick.
Hey, he was out here getting cash.
Hey, let's be clear.
Let's
be clear.
Let's keep moving. We're gonna keep moving. We're gonna keep moving. We're gonna keep moving.
Yeah, we're gonna keep moving. That on
the side.
But I realized, after looking back on that year, I realized how much it was important to have the time with myself to really manifest things and be with it. And what that year did for me is I made a goal out of it. I made meditation real. I made spending with my time with myself real. And that was an instant game changer for me, is realizing that, okay, once you realize how much you spend time with yourself, manifestation is one big piece of it. But what people don't really talk about is self-sabotage, and self-sabotage in your head, and how when things aren't right in front of your face and when things don't go right according to plan, you were immediately self-sabotaging yourself. Like, okay, yeah, you had no business doing this. This was not where you're supposed to be. And when you proposed the question, JoJo, many things came through my head. You know, the first thing that came through my head is when I stopped playing ball. You know, that was the first thing that came through my head. I'm like, dang, that was a rough process. I went through a depression too. I remember going through a lot of, like we've talked about it on previous shows. I mean, all my homies were still playing ball, so I was by myself. Unfortunately, though, that wasn't enough. I skidded my way through life. You know, had a couple jobs. I remember my first professional job. I'm gonna be really, really, really transparent with y'all, man.
Hey,
I've
that's
never
the only
really
way to
talked
do it
about this.
in King's Hour.
But I remember my first professional job, man. I was doing really well at the very beginning. I was doing really well, and I didn't know what to do with myself. Right. I had finally started to figure things out outside of ball, and I'm like, okay, my dad's happy. My dad's bragging about me again outside of
Yeah.
ball, and I started to make a little bit of money, but I bought a car, tricked it off, bro. Didn't pay no money on my car. I got my car repoed. My
Damn.
first car purchase. And the day I got my car repoed was the day that I was the all-time leader in our office for office spread. Right. So I was doing really well here, but really, really irresponsible here.
On
You
the
know, and
back
didn't
end.
really understand what the hell I was doing. And I remember I had to walk to work that day. I had to walk to work, get a bus, and jump on the tracks. And everybody was asking, you know, hey, what's wrong with you? You know, like why were you late? We had a whole party for you. We had a whole thing set up for you because you just hit this number in commission. And I didn't tell anybody. I remember I walked in the office and cried, bro. I walked in the office and cried. It was so humiliating to have to explain to people, like, what do I say? You know, I have nothing to say here. I'm supposed to be. And I remember on my way to where I will never forget Jay-Z's song, "You Belong to the City."
Oh, man.
Dog. So I was crying the whole way to work. I got there, this hit me, and I'm like, damn, bro, like you can fuck up football, not take that serious, then get to a professional level, trick that off. And I remember I walked home I actually got a ride home that day, and I'm like, we got to figure this out. And then long story short, man, I don't know how I got all the way back there, but as I started to reflect, you know, that was the building stone of my professional career, because I decided that I was going to be different. And then I took off from there. You know, we moved out to Phoenix, did very well, you know, and then, you know, the rest is kind of history. But I started to reflect on what was it that changed things for me, you know, and it was just the mental fortitude. It was the mental fortitude of it all, realizing that I had to understand who I was. I had to understand who I was being, and I had to understand who I wanted to be, you know, and do those things that I needed to do to be that person. And that's what spending time with myself really made me okay with, because it made me okay with the mistakes. It made me okay with, you know, that person in my head that's going to tell me, that's going to doubt. That's not my fault. That's the world. That's the world putting its own doubts in me, you know, and that's what time with myself really taught me, was that mental fortitude is the only tangible thing that's going to get you out of every single situation. And as I reflected, I saw that was the one thing. When I thought that nothing else, when I thought life was over, when I thought this is it, this is what's going to kill you, bro. This is the end of it. It was at the moment when I said, you know what, I'm at peace with it, bro. If this is it, this is it. But I ain't going to die easy. I'm going to go and do something. That was the one thing. Mental fortitude.
It's all mental. Damn.
Yeah, man.
That's
heavy. That's heavy.
I remember when when you lost your car. That was
hurtful. That was hurtful, and I think there's like 2 people on earth that know. I mean, well, now everybody that's listening to this, but like, especially for me, and I ain't gonna lie, a lot of it was on some prideful shit. You know, like I was walking around and taking tracks in my city, You know, and that's why that song
in your
hit.
city though.
That's why that song hit. That's why that song hit, bro. Because I was literally riding the tracks, looking out the window, like, damn, bro, you was walking out to your car thinking you was gonna skip in the office today because you didn't got it, but they repoed your shit.
And pulled up,
they repoed your shit, bring you back to life after you thought that you was gonna be somebody in the football field that it didn't pan out, and I was like, damn, maybe it just ain't in the cards for me.
It's
maybe not,
though, man.
You know, but then there's been so many things that happened since then that have been like, oh, this is it. This is the end.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, dog, you like that. You've already proven it.
You've been through it, man.
You've been through it and believe it, you know, because people will tell you you're wrong for being cocky like that. People will tell you, no, you can't be that bold. You can't be that. You made it here.
That's right.
You'd have made it through every fucking thing that you said you couldn't. Everything, literally. You made it through it. And we still talking. So why would you doubt yourself?
Why would you doubt yourself? And if you don't have that cockiness or confidence, whatever the fuck you want to call it, you would have drowned.
For real. And I think people don't understand, you got to go through some shit to build that, man. Like, that it's not a false sense of, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't fault. Like, you know the fuck I've been through? Ooh, sorry, mama. My mom told me to stop swearing on the podcast.
Dang. And I've been cussing my whole time.
Mama, I'm sorry. But, like, you know what the hell I've been through?
Yeah, bro.
Like, this is nothing.
Nothing.
And I earned this. I earned this swagger I have now, and bring on whatever comes next, man.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, though. The thing about it is crazy for me. Because, you know, we've only got through two of us. Walt, you ain't getting out this question. I'm pointing this way over here.
I was looking at the time. I'm like, does Walt got enough time? Yeah, he got enough time.
Yeah, you got plenty of time. But it's crazy just the theme of the last few shows that we've been talked about, you know, and what was the difference. And it's not to say that, like, hey, we're wildly successful. You know, we're at a level where we're, you know, we can talk about what it took to get here. Like, but what we can talk about and be transparent about are what hasn't worked,
right?
You know, what hasn't worked for us, and, you know, the small different details of the things that are starting to figure out. Especially me being I would like to say the beginning of a very spiritual journey for me and investigating who I am as a person. This has been crazy how closely related it is to your journey, JoJo. You know, and, you know, the things that you went through and why, you know, is that prevalent with us?
Yeah. Because, man, it makes you sit back and think, man. It makes you sit back and think of those common themes. What's the theme? That was me. I had to write that down one day, like meditation, man, because that was one of the things.
Meditation.
When I got on that reading, it's the manifestation, the meditation, the prayer, this everything, man. And I started really sitting with my thoughts, and I used to be like, yo, what's the common theme, bro? Like, remember I told you God kept giving me the same thing over and over again. I was like, what's the common thing? And the common theme that I got was I wasn't proactive with what God gave me. You know, God gave me things, and I wasn't capitalizing. I was just kind of letting things happen. Yeah. Like people would always joke with me. It's like, JoJo, if you actually tried, do you know what you'd be able to do? Like, bro, I didn't watch film.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't, not bragging. This is dumb as hell.
Yeah.
I just I didn't take the game seriously, man. Like, I didn't really start taking the game seriously until I was pursuing my NFL career. In college, I was really out here just like getting it, bro. Yeah. I couldn't touch my toes in college. I'm not stretching.
What?
I'm just out, bro. You can ask, bro. You can ask,
just an athlete. You just do it as out
like
here.
Dudes I play with, bro. Like, I feel bad looking back that I didn't give everybody everything I had. You know what I'm saying?
I got something for you though. Let me tell you, because you were the dude. I remember, especially for us, every summer we would have somebody come in and talk to the team. And the one thing you want to talk about common themes, you would always hear is, "Don't take this serious. Don't take this lightly. One day it's gonna be gone. You know, take every rep, every this." And I remember, like, man, come run these gashers with us, and go talk right? But actually, thinking about that, bro, like, what would you say? Because there's probably so many freak athletes like you you know, that didn't have to really give it that it factor. You know, they
Right.
didn't have to give it that extra. They just got it. Like, hey, I don't got to stretch. I don't got to take care of my body. I'm a freak. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you live with knowing? Like, what if I took this shit serious?
I mean, for me, I don't live with too much. I've accepted it. You know what I'm saying? I've accepted like what could have been, what should have been, whatever. Anybody that's in my position of that, man, just figure it out if you like it or not. Because for me, I realized like I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I told you guys on the past show, I'm not really like a super competitive dude. Like I like to win. I don't like to lose, but I'm not like the dude sleeping in my cleats the night before the game. Like I don't have my fit laid out.
Motivated like that. Yeah.
I'm not, but I wasn't like an arrogant asshole. I just really just kind of showed up. It's hard to explain. Like people know me. I wasn't this arrogant dude that just didn't, booby, you forgot to lift. I wasn't that dude. You know what I'm saying? But I just didn't, I was confused, man. Like I was confused. I just didn't understand myself. So for the cats like that, man, like figure out who you are. There's a reason that you're not really like pushing the way you should push. Figure out who you are and be okay with that. Be okay with the fact that, because I could never accept the fact that I was this athletic and I didn't really want to play nothing. Like I didn't really have like that desire. Like I love to play sports. I love to play basketball and do these different things, but I wasn't really like I didn't have that. I didn't have that. And I had to accept that, There's other things I have the drive for, but there's just that I didn't. So figure out who you are, man. Like it goes back to what we were just talking about. Sit alone. That's really sit alone. Pray, meditate for days. You're not gonna get that answer first day of sitting by yourself. Yeah. It's gonna take some time.
You might have been meant to be a physician, dog.
Honestly, a therapist. Like there's so many things that I wish I would have done.
There's so many. I feel like I could talk to you and you could give me you could
become
move things.
And I've heard this a lot, and I go back and I go back and forth, man. Like I might go back to school, this and that. But those are things like, bro, I wish I would have honed in on these things I had that I really enjoy doing. Like I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy learning about people. Yeah, football was fun, but I was
supposed to do. It was what you were supposed to do.
I was good. That's what I was supposed to do. My dad played ball. My brothers all play ball.
They was balling though too. You had
everybody was
name.
Everybody was balling, man. Everybody played in college. Everybody was like that. Everybody ran track. Everybody hooped. Everybody did it. But it was like, even my younger brother, same thing. It's like, do we really like this game? Nah.
Dang, that's
crazy. What I'm saying? Like, yeah. But I think it goes back to another thing too. Like, football for us wasn't like, it was a choice. It wasn't really like this gonna get us up out of here. It wasn't like that. I had the privilege of being able to choose to play and choose it like in not with that mindset, like I'm gonna save my family, like I'm just playing it to play. So it's different, and it's a privilege. Like, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I had that privilege, but that was a part of it too. It wasn't like something I had to have. So I kind of took it for granted, unfortunately, and I shouldn't have, because I probably took opportunities from people. Or I probably rubbed coaches or people the wrong way. Like a lot of, and I know it. I look back now and I'm like, man, like that's why this coach was on me like that, because I wasn't doing.
He probably knew.
Yeah. They all knew. So all my coaches, man, I apologize. Like for real, man. So going back to what I was saying, man, sit by yourself, figure out this is really what you want, and then approach the situation.
And that seems to be. That's the common theme, is we weren't sitting by ourselves as men. And I don't know if it's really truly just our ego, if it's society where we feel like we need to
uncomfortable. People don't like what they hear. That shit's scary, bro.
Yeah.
That shit's scary, man.
Yeah, that shit is uncomfortable because you don't know what the hell what you're gonna like get out of being sitting alone.
But you do though. And here's the thing. Most people don't know what to do with the truth. Like when they're hit with the uncomfortable truth, most people don't know what to do. There's no person better than yourself that can give you the cold, hard truth. You
And
know
you
when
know
you're
it.
not doing right.
You
That's
know
what I'm
it.
saying.
Everyone
You
knows
know
it.
it.
Everyone knows it.
know
It's
it.
always there. It's in the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the
If it's
bag chilling.
questionable, you're trying to compensate on it might kind of be right. You know it shit ain't. This shit ain't right.
Yeah, you'll
No.
try
You
to
know,
make
you
it.
feel
You'll
it.
make it okay. Like, okay, I think I can. If I carry the two, maybe. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
you try to justify it. Like I said, I was
Justify it.
going back and forth. I'm like, why God, like, why does this keep happening? Why you keep taking this game away from me?
Yeah.
Why you keep taking
Hey,
this game away from me?
he'll take it from you if you don't want it.
Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, God. Why you keep taking away from me?
But that part, though, that part, you know, that because that's what they say. They say when you tell God's plan, your plans, he laughs. You know, that was
And he was
us.
laughing.
That
For
was
He
sure.
was
us.
laughing. Mhm.
That was
He was
us.
laughing.
Closed off to a whole world of possibilities because
Yeah.
we thought this.
Because we was
This
here,
had to
like
work.
like you said, Mook, in
Yeah.
high school, we was like this.
Oh
Damn
yeah.
right.
Everybody,
Up there.
Mook
And-
on the cover of magazines.
Yo.
I'm gonna tell y'all this every
Yeah, Mook
episode
was
I get
up
a
there.
chance to. Mook was on the cover of magazines. I'm like, hold on, bro. They don't visit Ogden in these magazines? 'Cause I'm like that. I'm like that, bro. Hold on, man.
Hey,
Hold on,
I'm glad they did not stay down there. Don't worry about
like,
them
y'all
up there.
don't, like, is Ogden not included in like
They're a
this
different
Utah
world.
magazine? Only
Hey,
Salt
Mook
Lake
was
City.
the man
Hey,
in
what's
Utah
up, bro?
for real, hands down.
Yeah, Mook was like
bro.
that. But track
Bro.
was crazy. Track meets used to be wild.
Track was
track meets
fun.
used to
That's
be
one thing.
an event.
See,
Track
you
I
used to
ain't
be
going
an
on a
never
whole
do
event,
track.
bro. Those
Going
BYU
a whole
invitationals. Oh my
Bro.
God.
all the way up into
Oh my
regionals
God.
and state.
Watching
Yeah,
it,
that was a good time.
watching the Juan Diego boys walk up. Oh, it's about to be crazy. It's about to be
Hey.
crazy. It's about to be
That's
crazy.
a whole nother. That's a whole nother, man.
That
But
shit used to
hold
be
on,
wild.
Walt. You ain't getting out of this, dog.
Go
You
ahead,
ain't
go ahead,
getting
go
out
ahead.
of this, dog.
What
Let's
Pop
talk
say?
to me,
Do
man.
work, huh?
Talk to me. You've been
Man.
sitting with this for a minute. Let's talk, bro. What was the thing?
So, actually, I was talking to my therapist, right, about this because I've had a whole bunch of different things that I was thinking about on what changed that really just changed me. And honestly, it was my mother and my father passing away. And it's crazy by listening to you guys how much I was lost and why I was lost. By talking to my therapist and really listening to you guys. You guys both said two common things. You said your mom was your cheerleader and you wanted to do it for your pops in some way. You wanted to make them proud. You wanted to do something. And I had both of those people die. You know what I'm saying? So my mom being my cheerleader, I no longer have a cheerleader anymore. Then my pops pass, I have no one that I'm trying to make proud. Like I'm trying to show him, hey, look at what you did, look what you did for me, and look what I can now do. I don't have that. So when you talk about being lost, I was gone. And I think in 2000 and what is that? I'm not even sure what year it is, but when my father passed at first, it was a point where I really didn't know where to start. Like that's my first time having like a real obstacle. Like normally things happen. Maybe if I don't play football, I don't go pro. Like okay, boom. My mindset is strong enough to hold through that. Like, well, you're a winner. You got this. Come on, Plan B, whatever. But this was the first time where family members are dying, and I don't know what to do. Now I'm getting depressed. I ain't never got depressed and like didn't know where to go. I don't have no one to talk to now. Mom and dad is gone. My family members they're off and they looking at me to be strong and looking at me for answers and I'm gone. Okay? And that was the first time where I truly had a breakdown and a meltdown. And from that, I lost a relationship with my partner. I lost myself and just my charisma and being happy and kind of having a game plan. I lost it all. And in that moment of depression, I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like who are you, Walter? I was forced to be alone. I was forced to ask myself these questions. You know what I mean? And then I started a thing called Swam Challenge where I started working out every day. And that was the first time I realized that I had to do something athletic. I had to get out by myself and run and exercise just to get my mind out of the dark. You know what I mean? Because this was the first time like my brain cells just weren't working. You know what I mean? And by doing that and setting a small goal every day by doing 1 mile a day was the first time I realized, like, hey, Walter, you can do any goddamn thing you want if you just stay focused. If you stick on one thing at a time, you do one thing day after day and just stay in tuned in there. And then my confidence started getting back up. I started having light in my conversations. I started looking at the positive of everything. I started looking at my siblings like they're healthy. I started looking at myself, okay, I'm healthy. You know what I mean? So after all that depression and all that, I was forced to be alone and ask myself, Walter, what the fuck is going to jumpstart you? And it was goal setting, small, tangible goals. Didn't have to be anything crazy, but doing the little small things mentally to make me believe, like, Walter, you can do this again. And then, especially coming from someone like me that's always confident, you know what I mean? It was even worse to doubt myself. And I was doubting myself. I didn't believe in me. So if I have to go back, I would say the scariest, the most detrimental part of my life is when I was lost and had no clue who I was, who to turn to, or where to go. And really just setting small goals got me out of that. And obviously I get emotional and stuff, but truly from there, I've had so many different accomplishments because I've made a small tweak in my everyday life. You know what I mean? So, Jojo,
Major.
thank you for asking me that question.
That's major, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate you being transparent, man, because
for sure.
Absolutely.
that puts it's like you don't want to be like, oh, because of what you went through. I don't want to like minimize what anybody else goes through because
Yeah,
everybody's trial is different. But that's major, bro. That's
yeah,
I don't know what the hell. Football ain't shit compared to that. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
losing. I feel like for me, losing what I lost doesn't compare. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't imagine, but you wouldn't know if someone just met you
Yeah.
as charismatic as you are and as down to earth and as motivating and all these qualities that you have. You wouldn't know that you've been through something like that. But on the flip side, you would know because you needed all that to happen for you to be who you are right now.
For sure. And I
Oh
needed
man.
that to look at the positive in life. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't take anything for granted. So even when things go bad, I'm like, motherfucker, I've been through it. This
Right.
ain't. We got this. You know what I
Uh,
mean? Like, what are we talking about? You
We
couldn't take
talking
this
about
serious?
practice.
We're talking about practice, motherfucker. I lost the game, and I'm back, motherfucker.
Yeah, man.
it's
I
crazy,
appreciate you,
man.
bro.
Yeah, most definitely.
I
I
appreciate you, man.
But this
I,
is.
I just
I
I just
need.
gotta say, hold on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all. Hold on, man. I gotta look away from the camera, man. Hold on, Walt. Come on,
Hold on,
bro.
man. I gotta say, bro. Um,
That's major.
knowing you. All
Oh
right, man.
damn.
I'm getting fucking
Ooh.
Hold
oh
on, man. Hold on, man.
Wow.
Hold on. Let me drink some water or something, man.
Look at the water.
It
for
got
real
hot
though.
as hell in here.
That's
Oh,
crazy, man. That's crazy. Yo, I just talked about this last time. I don't know what the fuck. Like, wow, I
damn.
like this right now. I rode shotgun and seen that whole shit play out, bro. I seen that whole shit play out, dog. And you're my symbol of hope. I gotta tell you. I tell you privately, often, but I'm proud of you. Beginning, I don't know nobody who could do the way you did it. Could stand up for yours the way you have. To what's been thrown at you. And I can say, raising the family that I am, I'm just so glad that I just get some of your energy. Because, fuck, man, I remember. I think it was
Ooh,
2017, bro.
that
I
was
think it was
17. I called you
2017.
first.
But if you remember, you took a minute, because I know you were broken. I knew your family very well. I
Right.
know the relationships, and they weren't normal. You're very tight with your mom.
Yeah.
Very tight with your mom. Your dad was a Utah legend.
Pops. Watch the
Just to
third.
put it the least. I ain't gonna go into details, but
That's
he
right.
was a Utah legend, man. And fuck, man. I remember I was so worried about you. I was so worried about you. And as broken as you may have been, you stood up like a king throughout the whole thing. Throughout the whole thing. I'm proud of you, dog. Because who you are now, it all makes sense. It all makes sense, dog. It all makes sense. And like life has a cruel way of showing you the truth about people,
For
but it has a
sure.
beautiful way of showing you the truth about people, dog. And like I said, I've got a chance to ride shotgun in this whole journey, man, and it showed me the truth about who the fuck Walter Watts is at the end of the day.
Savage.
And I'm proud. I'm proud of who the fuck you are. Though. I'm proud of you.
I thank
And I
you.
need you to know that.
I thank you for being. I thank you for being there. God damn.
Yeah, man.
I
Yeah,
appreciate,
man.
I appreciate you being there, bro. Because I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck I'd have did without you. And
Well,
and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. If I'm telling you I was lost to my listeners, have someone that can hold your hand when you're traveling.
I don't know if I was holding yours or you was holding mine. You know what I'm saying? Okay, because fuck. Like I said,
Damn.
bro.
Hey, but
And yeah.
hey, I
Whew.
appreciate that, man. I appreciate that a lot. That makes me feel better. I even tried to practice this so I wouldn't cry.
Nah, man. Like, look, bro. I think about it a lot. I'm like, dang, bro. How does this man? Because I don't know what the fuck I would do. I don't know. I have no clue. Like I remember reading this this passage from Jordan Peterson. He was like, your goal should be you should be the strongest person at your father's funeral. And I'm like, why? Like I'm not ready for that, bro. I don't even want to prepare for that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and sometimes I see the way you carry yourself and I watch how you move, with that energy, man, and that confidence. I'm just like, dog, like this man is something else. This man is something else.
Yeah.
Like, bro,
Special.
if don't nobody tell you enough, bro, like I'm gonna tell you every chance I get. Like, you something else, bro. That's crazy. That's
I
crazy because
appreciate
I'm
that.
not like I don't know. That's something you can't prepare for, obviously. But like, dog, you're moving like you just moving away. It's like, nah, man, that shit didn't break you. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit
With
didn't break you.
every
That shit
fucking excuse in the world to break
for
you.
real. And
Every
like,
excuse
bro,
in the world.
like people, like I'll be watching you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man. I appreciate
You
that.
motivate me, man. Like if nobody, I'll tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like when I want to make an excuse, I'm like, nah, bro. Like this man have been through this, and this, and he really out here doing it. Really out here doing it every day. Not kind of doing it.
Yeah.
I see the shit pop up on my watch every day. You know what I'm saying? Like I see
real frequent lately.
I
Let me
see
say that. I
Walt
was
just completed the
quickly-
workout. Goddamn, let me hop on this
Yeah.
bike, man. Let me do something real quick.
That's one thing I ain't said. I mean, no, I'm not. I gave you too many compliments.
Too much confidence?
I can't. I was about to give you another one, but I didn't give you too many.
We got
Been
to
on
record
it.
it
Nah,
now.
I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you, bro. You've been
Go
on. You've been
ahead.
active. I'm
All right,
seeing
I'm
the rings are closing.
daily.
The rings are
And
closing daily,
I've been
man.
meditating too. I've been tracking the meditation.
And meditation. I've been seeing that too.
Yeah,
I've been
notice
seeing
that.
that too, man.
And if I'm going to close with my part is like I've also learned that in this process, how of an issue it was for me to be alone. You know what I mean? Even though I was broke and I'm doing better, but still I feel like I need or want people around me. So even at the age that I'm at now, I'm still forcing myself to make sure I'm alone and I'm sitting in my thoughts. Something else my therapist talked to me about, and I'm shouting her out because we were talking earlier, is even when we sit in our thoughts, we have to make sure we recognize them and make sure that we understand them. Because sometimes we can sit in these motherfucking thoughts and still have a perception that's wrong. Like you could be mad at someone when you shouldn't even be mad at them. It should be a learning process or a learning opportunity to be like, you know what, maybe I messed up. Because when we sit in these thoughts, sometimes we have to evaluate them to make sure we understand what they are and why they're here. You know what I mean?
Question
And
them.
that's what I'm
Question them.
learning. That's what I'm learning even more. It's like when I'm
yeah.
feeling the way, I gotta understand why.
Yeah, question them, because that's the thing. It's I think we have thoughts come to our mind and we just take it at surface level instead of asking, okay, well, why am I thinking this specific thing right now? Why is
Right.
this on my mind? And is that real? Let me
Or-
take that a step a little bit deeper.
And or you just got this confirmation bias, right? It's like this has been going on, so this is why it's happening. Something that you've been believing since the beginning, like, oh, this is it. Not realizing that, nah, bro, like it's something completely different. I'm over here questioning God. It's like, why are you taking this from me, motherfucker? You don't even like this game,
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
seriously,
you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, so you're questioning these beliefs that you think you believe in them so strong. This is why this is happening. This is what's making me go through this. This is why it keeps repeating itself. In all reality,
real quick though, before, because you just touched on something that I think you're gonna answer. Because you were questioning God on why He was taking this, but you were probably asking Him to take it at some point.
Bro,
yeah.
Like
I
remember
want to.
times,
you said you didn't want to do this. You said you didn't want to do this.
Listen. Like it's crazy. I remember times I'd be like, bro, not like praying for an injury. Like I'd go to games and be like, I don't feel like playing the rest of the season. Type shit, weird shit, bro. Like I used to be like, dog, like I'd get so much anxiety before games sometimes. I'd be like, bro, I don't even want to, like, if I roll my ankle, like I'm cool for 3 weeks. Type shit.
If I got hurt, I wouldn't even be mad.
Yeah. What? Dog, what? Why was I thinking that? And being like, God, why are you taking this from me?
Yeah.
At the same time.
And do we ever ask ourselves, until we got to a mature state, why we question that? Because that's what
I forgot about that. I forgot about those times until you just said that. I really used to be on that, bro. Like I really used to, like, sometimes I'd be like, dog, like I think I'm good for the year.
Yeah. It's just 2 days, bro.
And I blamed it on anxiety. I used to blame it on not blame it on God, but I used to blame it on just everything, bro. Like,
yeah,
I just didn't want to be there, and I didn't want to accept it.
And that's what the crazy part about it is like we have the answers. We know why. You really didn't want to play. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll be like, man, why'd you take this from me? Because you told me
you told me subconsciously, manifestation. Like, what are you doing?
And I wanted to bring that full circle back.
Damn, that's why chill out, man.
That's why I wanted to bring that back full circle, because that's why I asked you that original question, though, of if you're talking to somebody who's listening to this, who's like, yeah, I don't know, I'm skipping reps, I don't know if I want to be here. The masculine me would be like, run through that wall and keep going and do what you gotta do
on the line.
Check in with yourself, motherfucker. See, I'm sorry. Check in with yourself. Let's see where we're at. Is this where you really need to be? Is this your divine purpose
to be?
Yeah.
Right. Because look, you have a certain amount of energy you can give in your life. Give that shit elsewhere, because football will take a lot of it.
It will take a lot of it and mess your body up,
bro. And mess your, but like in reality, man, like you could. I always hear people say, "Oh man, I found myself in college, bro. I ain't find shit."
Yeah,
I did. But you know what I'm saying?
A life you had to overcome. That's what
like shout out all the friends and connections I made. I made mad connections, man. Like I made mad connections. Don't get it twisted. But as far as like, bro, you know how dope it would have been instead of spending the whole summer running in that heat to go study abroad.
Oh, that'd have been gangster.
You know what I'm saying? To go just do some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, think about college, right? Think about like your sophomore and junior year in college. When's the last time you had a summer? At that point, you're 19, 20 years old. When's the last time you had a summer?
once I got hurt, I started to
Then
have
you
my
did.
summers back. I did.
That was-
I ain't going front.
Man, Mook was
fire.
frolicking.
Hey,
Mook
Frolic.
was frolicking, bro.
I had
But
my hands in a little bit of everything.
in the
But like-
meantime,
but like-
I had to
but-
hear coaches say, "Get on the line." That was
But
the
think
worst
about
part.
this. So, like, think about this. Like, when did you have time to think?
Oh no.
When did you have time to really think playing ball? Like, when did you have time to really think?
Yeah.
Like,
You
think.
did. You didn't. So even better yet, when did you have time to explore?
Yeah.
Like,
Yourself.
Because
Yourself.
Like you had to be a certain type of person to present who you needed to be for your team, the university, everybody, because you're representing everything. So
Yeah.
look, you had no freedom to explore who the fuck you were. Dang, I've gotta stop. I'm sorry, Betty.
We're gonna get better. We're gonna get the
Yeah, we're gonna get better.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
we on the hour, man. Hey,
let's get it.
if we gonna talk about anything, man, we gonna continue to talk about this episode because this one was something special. So for our listeners, man, I appreciate you guys tuning in. We've been getting a lot of feedback, so make sure you continue to link in with us, share, comment, and just tap in with us. If you have some questions that you want us to answer or topics that you want us to touch on, let us know. We here for the long haul, baby. But
Let's
if
get
I'm gonna leave you, if I'm gonna leave you with anything, I'm gonna leave you with being kings today and every day. Peace.